Welcome in. It's Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Day number 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft is underway, and the Seahawks, with their first selection of the morning, going with Anthony Bradford, offensive guard from LSU, with the 108th overall selection. Bradford weighs in at 332, 6'4", a 22-year-old junior. And according to our own Tom Downey, has him as the number 5 offensive guard in this class and overall the 100th player. So fine value there at 108. Tom gave him a grade of 3rd/4th, a tweener between the two. So getting him early 4th round, not bad at all for Seattle at this spot. And before we show you more analysis and all that, I got to say, folks, what have we said the last couple days? If you've been reading the comment section, I'm sure you've seen Seahawk fans just screaming for help on the interior of the offensive line. Well, you got it now with Anthony Bradford in this selection. The Seahawks take care of a major need here with this pick at 108. Here's more from The Athletic on their scouting reports of Anthony Bradford. Bradford offers tackle experience, but he is at his best in confined quarters where he can trust his wide frame and move bodies with sheer force. Although he might not be ready from the get-go, he offers intriguing NFL potential that can be cultivated. So there you have it. More on Anthony Bradford here in just a moment. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 37,000 subscribers here this weekend. Trying to do it for Sean Alexander, 37 for 37. And we're just around 200 away from reaching that milestone. Subscribe to the channel for free. We're covering the draft all weekend long. We're going to be here tomorrow as well with the undrafted free agents and the grades and all that. It's been a crazy weekend here at Chat Sports, but the work is really just beginning. Stay tuned to the channel all weekend long. Subscribe today for free, and you'll be glad you did. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on those noties, join the Noti gang, and be a part of what we're doing here on the channel. Here's the numbers on Anthony Bradford. And my boy Big Tex, who Seahawks Today viewers know if you watch our live show, producer Big Tex was quick to point out when looking at these numbers from Anthony Bradford, as I point to my right, your left, there we go. Look at that bench number, 34. That's a strong dude, folks. Doesn't take a genius to figure out, no offense, Tex, doesn't take a genius to figure out how strong this dude is with 34 bench reps. 40 time of 5.08, shuttle time of 4.8, and the vertical jump at 30, broad jump at 8.10 on those numbers there. The scouting report, listen to this, folks. Positional flexibility. He started both at right guard and left tackle. Now, in the Seahawks case, you have your left tackle for several years to come in Charles Cross, so you're not going to ask Anthony Bradford to play left tackle, but you certainly could use him at that offensive guard spot for sure. Big build, but tested and moves very well. And although he's a junior, 22 years old, his playing time is relatively slim, only 17 career starts. He's very raw, needs more reps and growth in his technique and hand usage. I want to tell you a few more things here as well. Tested and moves very well. And I would call this a big boy build, okay? I mean, he is that guy, right? I mean, he looks the part of what you would want for an offensive lineman. That's very good on his front. The burst also there, power is there in flashes. So all of that sounds good. It's raw. It needs some developing, but he's on the right track, okay? Now, the negatives. We mentioned the 17 starts. That's only 1,103 snaps. So he's still learning how to play football at a high level. But that's okay. That's okay, okay? When he got beat this year, it usually was a sack. So that's not ideal as far as that goes. Of the sacks that he gave up at times with letting guys right through. He kind of leans too much at times. Hand usage needs some work. And there was thoughts out there that he wasn't really well liked at the left tackle spot, but in Seattle's case, that's fine because you're not asking him to play left tackle with Charles Cross in that spot. He did have an undisclosed injury in 2021. Not exactly sure what that was. Technique in general, all of that needs some growth, and he was on the ground too much at times. But I think the good, even with the bad that we mentioned there, still outweighs the bad that we've talked about there with Anthony Bradford and filling a position of need. So let's go ahead and show you the picks that have been made before Anthony Bradford to this point. Keely Ringo off the board to Philadelphia as they continue to build the Philadelphia Bulldogs there with that team. Blake Freeland, one of the better offensive linemen, headed to the Indianapolis Colts at a BYU. Jake Andrews at center headed to Troy there with the pick at 107 before Anthony Bradford. So let's take a look at the offseason profile for the Seahawks with what they've done now. You take care of this need on the interior of the offensive line. You're still looking for help at defensive tackle and the linebacker positions. I'd be shocked if they don't take care of business there with those two spots at some point today. But overall, this has been a very good draft for Seattle to this point. Of the talent they've put together, getting the best corner in this draft, getting the best receiver in this draft as well. A team that, remember, you re-signed Geno Smith. You brought in Draymond Jones, Bobby Wagner, Julian Love, Jurrian Reed. Expectations are high in Seattle, and they should be heading into 2023. This rebuild that people called it a year ago has quickly turned into win-now mode for Seattle. And Anthony Bradford has a unique opportunity in front of him here with the Seattle Seahawks. He has a chance to get some playing time immediately to compete for one of those starting jobs there on the offensive guard spot. With the experience he has at right guard, watch out. Let's see if he can get some playing time right away and try to win this job when training camp rolls around. To me, if you found a starter in the fourth round right away like this, which you may have in Anthony Bradford, I think that's good value. That's what you're looking for. A guy that we mentioned, Tom had him as a third/fourth round guy, and you got him in the fourth. Good value there. And a guy that's still learning the position. I believe I can sit here and confidently say that the best is still to come with Anthony Bradford, that he's still growing into the football player that he expects to be and wants to become here. To me, that's the learning curve. There's going to be some bumps along the way, but I'm excited about what he brings to the table there as far as that goes. So Anthony Bradford, the pick for Seattle. They still have another pick in round 4 at 123. Then they'll be back on the board in the 5th round at 151 and 154, 6th round at 198, and they'll wrap up the draft at a 237. Who do you want the Seahawks to draft next? Tell me in the comments section who you'd like to see the Seahawks pick up with their remaining picks, and we'll continue to cover those throughout the day. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll have you covered here on Seahawks Today throughout the entire draft, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.